Okay. All right. So good evening and happy Tuesday, everyone. Welcome to Drink Struck. If this is your first time because you are a new consultant, again, we welcome you. Every Tuesday we get together at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, and we really have a blast. Like at the end, we're like, gosh, that was fire, but it's like legit every week. If you are here because you are a guest, welcome. We have so much information to share tonight. So we're going to introduce ourselves. I hope that you have a pen and paper ready because we're just going to take you on a journey and let you know about the Scentsy opportunity. And if you have questions, by all means, you can go ahead and ask them in the chat because we have our panelists that are monitoring the chat. Also, I am going to put a little thing on our team page. So anyone on my team that actually has a guest that is here present tonight, please put their name underneath that post because I want to randomly draw someone's name and send Happy Mail just so you can have the full Scentsy experience. That's just what we do. Where else can you go and get Happy Mail? So anyway, my name is Teresa Gosh, and I have been with Scentsy for 6.5 years. I legit joined for the discount. Didn't want anything more or less. Just wanted the products delivered to my home, and one thing led to another. I grew an empire. My empire grew empires, and we're really enjoying the opportunity. So, we all can kind of jump into this with an idea in mind, but until you get your feet wet and really understand how amazing this community is, you really don't know what you have in store. So I'm here in Abilene, Texas. I consider it a small town. Considering where I moved from, my husband was in the Air Force, which brought us from the Washington, D.C. area to Texas. And if I can make it all the way to the top in a small town, so can you. There's other consultants here as well, but I mean, we network and we're all still very much successful. So that's just a little bit about my journey. And I would love to pass the mic to the other panelists. Whoever wants to go next, just give a quick little bio so everyone knows who we are. And then we're going to jump right into the opportunity.
Hi, everyone. My name is Emily Goodnet, and I am also a Superstar Director, and I'm based out of Ontario, Canada. What's interesting about my story is that I actually started my business as an American consultant. My husband is American, and he was also active duty US Army. So we lived all over. I started my business in one spot, moved to another. I've moved 4 times since becoming a Scentsy consultant. And I was able to get to the top, having to move around and meet new people constantly. So I am that epitome. If you feel like you don't know enough people, trust me, you can still work this business. I have 2 small children. My son is 10, my daughter is 8. And I started my business when my son was 4 months old. So my children don't know life without Scentsy. And so if you're a mom watching this and you're like, I don't know where I could find the time because I have a small child and that takes up most of my time, I did it. And I totally feel where you're at. I've been there. And you're going to learn tonight exactly kind of where we all come from and where our stories have taken us and how we overcame some of those obstacles you might be facing or some of the questions that you might have or concerns. So just know that we're here to answer those for you tonight. So I look forward to getting to know you all. Those of you who are on for the first time, welcome. And yeah, let's get it started.
Okay, I'll go next. Yeah. Okay, so my name is Amber Turner. I'm a Superstar Director from Texas. I've been with Scentsy almost a decade, so August will be 10 years for me. I guess what makes my story unique is that I joined with 0 intentions of turning this into anything. I literally just wanted the kit, and God had other plans. So it's now my full-time. If there are any teachers out there, comment in the chat. I was a teacher. I was an elementary teacher for 12 years, and I was perfectly content doing that. It's what I went to college for. I loved my job. I remember telling my husband when I was teaching, I can't believe I get paid for this. Like, it's so fun, blah, blah, blah. But God had other plans. So I'm now in my 4th year of working Scentsy full time. I joined when this girl that's trying to hide behind me was 3 years old, and her sister was 8 weeks old. And it was pretty crazy, but I just dove into the things and put one foot in front of the other, stayed consistent, and I'm living my best life. So you can start small, grow it slow, and you never know what it'll turn into until you just have to try.
Thank you, Amber. All right, we'll pass the mic on to the next. Kelly or Carol?
Carol, you want to go or you want me to go? I can go. Okay, so I'll just go. So my name's Kelly. I have been a consultant. I feel like I'm a veteran now because I've made it to the 10-year mark, which I never thought I would do. So what makes me a little different from the other ones is I am the complete underdog. So I'm always rooting for the underdog. I was a teen mom. I was told that I wasn't going to graduate high school. I had to learn how to survive. And that was in my pre-Scentsy days. I joined Scentsy because I had to, not because I wanted to. I had no intention of making Scentsy a business. I only joined Scentsy because somebody stole a bag party out of my car, which later turned out to be my ex-husband. And my whole Scentsy career has based off of revenge, because somebody told me that being successful was the best revenge that you could ever get. So that is what I went after. I am now 10 years in. I'm a superstar director for 5 or 6 years now. I have 3 children, ages 25, I think. I don't remember. After 21, I just don't even count anymore. So she's 24, 25. She was born in 96. I have a 10-year-old boy and a 2-year-old boy. So they've grown up in Scentsy world. I do have 4 college degrees that I don't use because I make way more money than any college degree could provide me. So that was just kind of a waste of time. I never thought that, I thought going to college was going to be the way that I made more money to provide for my family. It was not. It was actually selling wax and warmers and building an empire, building friends, connecting relationships, traveling the world. These are not things that I ever thought that I would do. So me, I feel like I relate most to the people that don't think that they can do it. They're told that they can't do it. It's just the total underdog story, and I'm always rooting for the underdog and letting them know, like, hey, if I can do this, you can do this. I grew up in a really crappy area. I'm now moving into my dream home in approximately 20 days. Where else can I buy a $500,000 home without a spouse? I bought it all on my own. My husband was not included. I bought my dream truck. And you know what's funny is I just bought my dream dog too. So I had this dog on my damn dream board. And I don't even like dogs, but I had this dog on my dream board, and he's like running around over here right now. He kind of has a name. We're just trying to see if it sticks. So that's been a whole thing over Facebook, trying to name this damn dog for the past 2 weeks. Still don't have a real name. He's no name at the vet. So I am here for all those questions that you may have pertaining to starting a business that you really didn't want to start. Like, where do you start? How do you start? Who do you relate to? You want to see here's my dream dog. How freaking cute is he? He looks like a Chewbacca, I think, or maybe an Ewok. So I've been looking up Ewok names. I think that's about it for me. I have a crying 2-year-old like wanting to get over this fence right now. I blocked off this whole kitchen because I'm being a single mom tonight. My husband's still at work, and I have the whole kitchen barricaded so they can't get in here. But it's not working, so I'll put myself on mute and let Carol talk to you guys.
All right, I'm all ready now. Sorry. Hi, guys. I'm Carol Bishop-Hauk. Can you hear me? Yeah? Okay. Am I still muted? No, okay, good. All right. Sometimes I will start talking and I'm still muted. So, because I have really mastered Zoom. You'd think after a year I would have this down. So I've been with Scentsy for, this fall will be 16 years. So I'm 15 and a half years in to this amazing business. And I just want to say, I started with, I was a hairdresser, so I did hair and nails. So if we have any cosmetologists or nail techs, you know, raise your hand or pop yourself in the chat. Just know, so I was also a direct sales connoisseur, if you would. I had 5 other direct sales businesses before I found Scentsy. And so when I say that there is a right fit for everyone, there is. And when you find that business that you love, you'll know exactly when it happens. And for me, that's when Scentsy found me. One of my clients brought me a warmer to try because I used to melt jarred candles on a hot plate because we had a terrible experience with burning candles. And so they were forbidden in my home. So we then went to warming jarred candles. And my friend was like, you will love this so much more because you don't have the waste that you do with these ginormous jarred candles. And so she brought a warmer, and we were so fancy back then. She cut off a chunk of wax off this big brick and put it in a Ziploc bag for me. So if you've ever received a baggie of wax, it is this was the gateway into my Scentsy addiction. I am now a full-fledged Scentsy drug dealer. Okay, so I love my home smelling great. I love things that smell good, and so that is, needless to say, the rest is history. I have been selling wax and warmers for 15 years. I love every single minute of it. I think what I love the most is it has brought me freedom. It has allowed me to be able to design the life that I want to live. I get to live where I want to live. I get to live with who I want to live with. And I've got to live, a few different places. It has created opportunities for us to travel the world. And I no longer am slave to someone else. And I don't live paycheck to paycheck anymore. And I'm completely debt free. I've paid off $150,000 worth of credit card debt. So insert the income disclosure statement. Results are not typical. May cause vomiting, diarrhea, and a rash that will never go away. But I'm telling you, you guys can live your life by design, all by taking part of this opportunity. So I would say there's no better company to be a part of. We are stronger than ever. There are so many amazing fragrance products. So if you love fragrance, this is the company for you. And we would love to have you a part of that. So yeah, I think Debbie, do you want to go? Would Debbie be up? She hasn't gone yet, right? So
yeah,
anyway.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you, guys. Okay, once again, I have to always ask, can you hear me? Okay, great. Okay, a little bit about me. I have been with Scentsy now for 11 plus years. And how I started with Scentsy is funny because Carol mentioned that she was a hairstylist. My hairstylist brought me into Scentsy. She's a friend. And then I thought about what Kelly said, being the underdog. So I could relate to all of that. I was raised by a single parent with a disability, had a child when I was in high school, was always told that I wouldn't be anything, attempted suicide on 2 occasions, had to help raise my siblings after my father passed away. So when Sonia, my sponsor, brought the opportunity to me, I worked full-time job. I've been there almost 40 years. And when she brought the opportunity to me, I said no, because I didn't think I had time, because being a mother and a caregiver and work full-time, I didn't see how I could fit that in. And when she mentioned Scentsy to me, I hadn't heard of it before. So another friend gave me a warmer. And when I experienced the warmer, I was like, whoa, I cannot believe this. This is what she's been trying to tell me all along. And I said no to the opportunity. So as soon as I used the warmer and the wax, it was beach bar, it was a beach wax, and it was the grapevine warmer, my first warmer. And I went crazy. So I joined Scentsy 2 days before Christmas. 2 days. Who does that? I did. So for those of you who don't be afraid of somebody saying no, because I was one of those who said no. So 30 days after joining Scentsy, I sold over $3,000 in products. Didn't have a clue about what I was doing. I didn't know the payday. I didn't know the commissions. I didn't know anything about bonuses. I didn't know anything about incentive trips, none of the things. So it's like childlike wonder. I was just really excited. So because of that excitement, my upline pulled me to the side and she said, what do you see yourself in the future with Scentsy? I said, what do you mean? She said, do you see yourself becoming a director someday? I said, what is a director? I didn't have a clue. So she pulled me to the side and she said, let me bring some people. You get some people and I'll tell you how to do this. So I listened to what she had to say. Boy, and the rest is history, because I just took off like that after that. So here I am moving forward I have a daughter in college. I have a son. First of all, I have a son. He's 41 years old. I'm like Kelly, I forget the age of that oldest one. He's 41 and she's 20 years apart. And yeah, they're mine. They are 21 years apart. And I have two grandkids, a 19-year-old and a 3-year-old. But here's the thing that's such a blessing to me now. My son was Air Force and retired Air Force. He had a brain tumor. And Scentsy was there for me. The community was there for me to help me get through that period of depression that I was going through. And now my daughter is about to graduate from college. She wants to pursue becoming a dentist. And I'm able to do this, income disclosure. I'm able to do this with my Scentsy. I've been able to pay all of her tuitions, except for what she got, college. She got some scholarships. But outside of that, I was able to pay her college tuition with that. And this year, I'll be 60 years old next year. This year, I'm going to buy myself a brand new Mercedes, and I deserve that because I worked so hard. So these are the things that happen to you when you're in this amazing business. So that's all I got to say. Oh, I've been all over the world too, but since I forgot to insert that too.
Okay, and that's what we're about to do. We're about to go around the world. Thank you so much, Debbie. So what we just heard just now, and listen, if some of your prospective new team members couldn't join tonight, don't worry, there will be a recording and you can actually share this or you can invite them to the next opportunity night as well. However, what we just heard from a former teacher, Amber Turner. She was probably an amazing teacher and she went from teaching to being an entrepreneur with Scentsy, okay? We also heard from Emily Goodneck, who's in Canada. She's not even here in the United States. She started here, she's in Canada. And that brings another point that we can sponsor all over the world, wherever Scentsy is at, Mexico, Canada, Europe, Australia. And we also heard that she moved a lot. And what's beautiful about this business, I'm also a military spouse. And usually if you're in corporate America, you got to quit and then you got to start all over again. With Scentsy, she was able to pack up her business every single time. And then you heard from me who just joined for the discount, and so that might be you, and that could later change, or you could stay with the discount. And then we heard from Kelly, who was like, no, I needed to do this. I needed to prove to myself and to others that I can do this, that I will succeed. And dang it, she has not only succeeded, but she has blessed so many others with helping them to their success. So we heard from Kelly, who has degrees. And you'll hear from so many people that have literally, left their 9 to 5. I've heard from dental hygienists that were like, oh, I'm not doing this, I'm doing Scentsy, and went all the way. And then we heard from Carol, who was once a hairdresser. And now, she's at the tippity top. We're at the top, but she's at the tippity top. And then we heard from Debbie. And Debbie actually works a full-time job right now in the insurance company industry. And she does this, and she does a phenomenal job juggling both. So you're seeing all kinds of different dynamics here. We've all been with Scentsy for different time spans. And, what I want to do is just kind of go around and ask everybody, what has been, if you can choose one thing, and this is going to be very hard to do, but what has been one of the greatest highlights so far of your Scentsy career? What is one of your most favorite memories, to date? And I'm going to go ahead and toss this back to Carol. Or maybe we'll start with Kelly.
All right, my favorite Scentsy memory. I have so many. Actually, I'm going to go with just a memory that I love, and it's funny, and it actually involves Teresa and Emily, so they can go back in time a little bit. But there was this one time we all earned this all-expensive paid trip to the Mediterranean, which included we got to go to Spain, we got to go to Italy, we got to go to France, and did we go anywhere else?
Mm-mm.
No, I don't think so. If I did, it was maybe a couple spots in Italy, I think. And we rented a house. We paid for it out of our own pockets. And this house happened to be up on a mountain. Nobody knew how to drive a stick shift. But even though Teresa and my husband knew how, the owner of the Airbnb let us borrow this car. But only 4 people could fit in this car. And mind you, we fit like 6 and some luggage in this little car. And Teresa had came in late with her husband. I think like the next day or maybe later than everybody else. But we were on the top of this mountain with no food, and there happened to be a deep freezer in the basement. And somehow we got into this deep freezer and we were trying to check out this guy's food because at this point we're hungry, and DoorDash doesn't really exist. It does, but everything is in whatever language Spain speaks. I want to say Spanish, but it's probably not correct. And I remember, I don't know who it was, maybe it was me and somebody else, me and Emily's husband. We went and got some ice cream bars out of the guy's freezer, and we felt horrible, but we were so hungry. And then he told us that we could have some stuff in his freezer if we wanted. And he brought us some spaghetti sauce and some noodles. And then he let us use his car, which was crazy. And there was something else that happened. Oh, so then we had a pool, and this pool had a big Buddha outside of it. And we thought we were just living this high life in this pool, and we're taking these pictures. Mind you, what people didn't know is this water was freaking ice cold. I wasn't about to stick my feet in there, but Teresa was. So Teresa goes to stick her feet in there. I don't know why she was sticking her feet in there because it was ice cold, but she gets attacked by killer ants. And she starts screaming everywhere, and she's trying to get her feet out of, we told her not to go over there, but she did anyway. And she's jumping around like a crazy person because she has killer ants eating her feet. I got this on video somewhere. I got to try to find it. But that was one of my favorite memories with these two knuckleheads here.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm literally over here like grinning from ear to ear because we'll have to post the clown car because that's what we kind of coined it. It was a clown car. We all looked like clowns, like stuffed in this car in Barcelona of all places. But that was really a pivotal moment in my Scentsy career because I was like, I used to be a maid. I legit worked for Merry Maids, and I'm not talking about for 3 months. Like that was my career, and I have no shame in that game. But I'm like, here I am now on the Mediterranean Sea with people I know, you know, making new friends and having the time of my life. Is this real life right now? But that's what Scentsy does for us. So thank you so much for sharing that. I'll never forget those killer ants either. That was insane. Okay, let's go ahead and move over to Amber. What has been, you know, and I know that there's a lot, but what is one special moment that you can think of at the top of your head in your Scentsy career?
Yeah, well, it's hard to follow Kelly because she always has such funny stories, and I tend to go towards the more sentimental, but I'm going to do that anyway because it's the truth. Definitely the pivotal moment for me, and the one that stands out above all of them, even there are so many, including praying with Hattie and Orville at home offices offsite over dinner, seeing a giraffe in Africa, like in the wild, not in a cage or a pen or a zoo or anything like that. Like there's so many experiences. Taking my babies to Disney World, all expenses paid, and we're going to do it again in less than a month. All of those things, there's still one that stands out above all of the others. And that's when I closed my classroom door and left after 12 years of teaching. It was the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. I cried more over that decision than probably just about anything because it was a leap of faith. Like for real, it was a leap of faith. But I saw some other teachers commenting in the chat that they want to retire now. And girls, all I can say is if I was still teaching, I would have wanted to retire now as well, because I can't imagine what you guys are dealing with the pandemic and everything. I now have a 4th grader and a 7th grader, and seeing it on the parent side, like my hat is off to you 100%. But back then it wasn't, you know, quite as crazy as it is for you guys right now. Nevertheless, I knew it was time for me to go for so many reasons, but it was so scary. But I will never forget, first of all, when I announced that I was resigning my teaching job of 12 years to pursue Scentsy full time. I had only been doing Scentsy for 6 years at that point, and I expected naysayers. Like I expected people to be like, especially on Facebook, right? Because I posted a status about it finally when I got enough guts to. Oh, you're so crazy. Like, are you sure? Are you keeping that teaching degree? Like, these things are sometimes fly by night roller coaster, like blah, blah, blah. Are you sure? Are you sure? Y'all, not one. Maybe they bit their tongue. Maybe they kept their mouths shut. Maybe my friends are just really, really nice. I don't know, but not one naysayer. the major pivotal moment for me was people saying, congratulations, I saw this coming, you're going to be great. There's no doubt in my mind. And then even though it was scary and there were a lot of tears cried and a lot of prayers prayed, when I closed that door and walked away, started my summer vacation not to come back, I felt peace, total peace about it. And here I am 4 years later. We have a week left in school. So it's my fourth school year to not teach, and things have never been better. So I want to say, those of you that are teachers or any other kind of full-time and you think you want that kind of freedom that like Kelly's talking about and everybody's talking about, you can do it. You just have to believe, and you have to work, and you have to stay consistent and keep doing things like you're doing tonight. Pour into yourselves, and don't doubt. Trust God and trust you, like you know better than anyone else.
That's awesome. And this is why we love you here too, Amber, is that I think all of us bring something different to the table. We all each have different personalities. But one thing that I shared earlier today is there's room at the table, so it doesn't matter if you're introverted, extroverted, if you're sentimental, if you're funny as crap like Kelly, or Carol, it doesn't matter. There's room at the table, and pull up a seat, so that's what we want to show you tonight too, is that this business does not discriminate, and it doesn't matter what your personality type is. If you have the desire and the passion and the will, you can make it too. So thanks for sharing that story. I don't think I've heard that story. I know you shared a couple of other sentimental ones, like sitting in Heidi's lap, fun things.
I'm the sentimental one. I'm the crier. If you're going to Disney, you'll see, I'll be the one crying. It's fine. And I think it's hilarious that Carol is my sponsor, because she's polar opposite of me. I think she's like on the other end of the Enneagram scale for me, but we mesh so well. And yeah, Teresa's absolutely right. Whatever your personality type is, like, people say I'm not a salesperson. Neither am I. I'm a teacher and a mom. I'm just people's dealer. Like, they got to have a dealer, and I'm their person. So there's that.
Thanks, Amber. And I met her husband first on a plane and leaving Johannesburg in South Africa. And that's, again, what's so amazing about this business is that, we've been friends ever since. And then, we're making this connection too on Tuesday nights, but there's just a whole community that you get to experience outside of the financial aspect. So Carol, are you with us? Do you want to share one of your favorite memories?
So I have a lot of them over all these years. I think what I really want to say is that I have made the most amazing friendships in this business, and I have more friends than I can even count now. And the joke in my place used to be that I never got out. I never got to go anywhere. And now literally when there's no pandemic going on, I literally travel somewhere every month. And I've gone all over the world thanks to Scentsy incentive trips. I have friends in Canada. I have friends in Australia and New Zealand and in Europe. And I mean, I'm not kidding. I have the most incredible friendships, all thanks to this little wickless candle. So I can't say that I have any one memory. I just know that my life is 100% completely blessed because of this business, and it wouldn't be the same. I wouldn't be where I am today. And I love meeting so many new people, and I hope to meet each and every one of you someday. If I haven't got to meet you in person, I want to give you the biggest hug. I am totally a hugger, and I just love hugging people. And this last year has been so hard to not be able to like hug and touch everybody. But trust me, you're all getting hugs from me when we see each other again. But so many people want, like I heard something the other day. We work so hard, yet we are rarely recognized or rewarded for what we do in this lifetime, whether we're a mom, whether we're a wife. I mean, how many times do your kids be like, Mom, you're doing such a great job? No, they never do that. And so they're like, I need a snack, right? So you don't get recognized and rewarded for the things that you do, yet in this business, you do. You get recognized and rewarded for the efforts that you put forth. And so if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for a community, if you're looking for a reason that, you know, you want to be recognized and rewarded for these things that you're doing. This is where you need to be, y'all. And then it just keeps getting better. Every year for me gets better and better. And I when I first started, I doubted myself. I wasn't sure I could do this. I thought it was going to be another one of those businesses that would fail. And yet here I am. I stuck with it. Every time I was going to quit, the universe intervened and people came back to me to order and kept me afloat with sales that I needed, you know, in order to meet company requirements. And so I just have to say, the universe can make sure you stay if this is where you want to be. If this is where you feel like you're home, whether you've been a consultant for a day, a week, or you have yet to join, or if you've been with 15 years, it doesn't matter. We love you, and the community, you can't get any better than our community. And I feel like this last year has not, for those of you that have joined in the last year or have thought about it, you haven't got to experience the real Scentsy in-person thing. And so the first in-person event that you can come to, you need to go, because Zoom, I'm sorry, it doesn't cut it. Yes, you get to see our faces. Yes, you get to hear our voices, but you do not get to feel the energy that is in a room as you do at a Scentsy event. And so we really, really want you to attend the next event that you can come to in person, because you will not believe the magic, the electricity, the atmosphere it's seriously electric. So all right, but that's what I wanted to say, is I have so many memories, so many moments that I can't even encapsulate them in one phrase. So I just love this company so much.
Well, I knew that was going to be tough. And it's interesting hearing about your journey, Carol, because you were saying that even where you are right now, there's some that are in disbelief, that you doubted yourself, that you weren't sure of yourself if you would make it. But would you mind sharing the size of your empire, your organization now?
The global empire is almost 15,000 team members strong. So we are nearing 15,000. I think when I looked earlier, we are at 14,900 and something. So we are so close. And you know what? And it literally all started with me. If I hadn't decided to join and take that leap of faith, there are 16,000 lives that may or may not have been touched. So when you actually look at those types of things, you're thinking, I'm nothing. I'm not anybody special. I'm not really anything. Yet 15,000 people are now their lives have been changed by Scentsy, some way or another, maybe small, maybe large. But it's incredible. And I'm not kidding. I was almost canceled. I almost quit. I was almost terminated because I didn't have any sales. I mean, and so now to think of, here we are. And I practiced at being a consultant for 8 months. 8 months I sucked at this job. I was terrible at it. And then I realized that, no, I can do it. I just seriously doubted myself. It's all up here, y'all. It's all in your head. You have to just believe it in order to achieve it. Know that it's going to happen. I just saw somebody post in the chat earlier, speak it into existence. I'm a great Scentsy consultant. Speak it into existence and it will happen, because you have to believe in yourself in order for others to believe in you. In order for other people to join you in this business, you have to exude excitement and tell them why you're excited. Why are you so excited for this stupid wickless candle? Because really it's kind of stupid. I mean, as far as it's just a wickless candle that makes your house smell good, but it's like the most amazing thing. But it's so simple. I guess that's what I want to say. It's so simple. It's stupid that you can make a living selling wax, little cubes of wax, y'all. You can make a living selling wax. And who knows? So I wear a mask that said Wax Boss, on the plane. Everybody's like, do you have a waxing business? And I'm like, sort of. Not that kind of waxing. I don't wax lips, but I do have wax that makes people's houses smell good. And so, but yes, I did struggle at the beginning, and I am completely a different, well, I'm the same, but different. I'm the same person as I was in the beginning, but I'm also different. I've learned to love myself. I've learned to realized potentials of others and myself. I've learned to expand my mind, to expand my thinking, to think bigger, because y'all, I was thinking way too small. I could literally have 100,000, 200,000 people in my team one day. And so, you know, I can be the same size as Scentsy is right now as a company. I can literally have the same amount of people, because when I first started Scentsy, we only had 200 people in the whole company when I started Scentsy. And so this is what I'm like, I could literally be, I am Scentsy a few years ago. You know, I'm the same size as the company right now. And so stop thinking small, because we only limit ourselves. And you're not serving the world by playing small, by acting small. You could literally accomplish. There's no ceiling to this income. There's no ceiling to my group growth. There's no ceiling to this business. And so don't think that you can't make it, because you can. I don't have anything special or different than you do. I'm just willing to keep putting one foot forward and not let anything stop me. And that's exactly what I've done. I just kept going when the times were tough, when warmers were back ordered, when things weren't going the way. I just kept going. And if you keep, she or he who lasts longest wins. that's my big long-term phrase, was like, just keep going. And you'll hit peaks and valleys. We've had ups and downs. We've had lots of team members to not very many team members, to really great sales, to down years. I had really great income to not so great income to great income again. Everything is a roller coaster. Everything in life is a roller coaster. And if you just learn to ride the ride and enjoy it, you will succeed. And just keep going. So don't stop. And when you have rough parts, reach out to your sponsor, reach out to your upline, ask them for help. This is a give take here. We don't know that you're hurting, or we don't know that you're struggling until you reach out, and we want to help you. And that's what we're here for. So yeah, don't stop. Get it. Yeah, yes, Danielle. That's right.
I love that. So everyone's jaw kind of dropped. I saw in the chat when you said 15,000, you know, it's like, it's almost unfathomable. Like, oh my goodness, to start with one. But really what I heard out of that is one of my favorite quotes is, do it scared. If you are on the fence about joining, you know, don't let fear be a deciding factor, is what I always tell people. There can be so many deciding factors, but you have to take fear off of the table. You know, if you are already a new consultant, you know, that's joining, you're afraid to sponsor, you're afraid to promote, whatever your fear is, the best encouragement and advice that we can give you is to legit do it scared. I think I scared my way up to where I'm at, you know, right now as well. So thank you for sharing that, Carol, because
and don't wait for the perfect time, y'all, because there will not be ever a perfect time. So don't wait for a perfect time to get started, or wait till you know everything to get started. Just get started. Action is progress. When you're taking action, that's how you progress. If you're standing still, you're dying. If you're not making any progress, you're dying. And so, you know, continue to work forward, put one foot in front of the other, even if they're teeny tiny baby steps, y'all. Take one little step every single day to do something new in your business. You know, reach out to one new person every day. If somebody says, I'm struggling and I'm having a hard time, chances are you're not getting enough new people in your life. So reach out to one new person a day and meet them and talk to them. And social media, you can reach anyone all over the world. And that is literally the perfect way right now, because, you know, some people are still stuck in their homes. Some of the places haven't reopened, you know, and so continue to reach out, find new people that way.
Love that.
Sorry, I'll shut up now.
No, that's really good. Action is progress. Okay. And don't wait for the perfect time. Sometimes people are like, I'm going to wait till school ends, or I'm going to wait, you know, time is a liar, you know? So just, you know, action is progress. And if you're interested, and right now the join special is literally $20. You know, that's a very minimal investment, you know, so you really don't have much to lose, but you have a whole lot to gain. All right, let's move on to Emily. Emily, can you share one of your memorable moments in your Scentsy career that stands out to you tonight?
Yeah, you know, there's a lot, and just to echo what everyone else has said about, you know, the friendships and things. I wouldn't know any of the ladies that I'm on this panel with if it weren't for the fact that I earn trips. So, you know, whether you're coming into this business just for the discount, or let's say you want to earn a free vacation or something, and let's say it's to make friends, going to those events, as Carol mentioned, whether you're paying for them or earning them, is you know, a great way to meet new contacts, people that you can relate to and grow together, you know, have that accountability buddy, make great friends that way. But when I think about a time, I mean, there's a lot, but there's always one that stands out. And it was when, you know, Scentsy kind of came to our rescue. My kids were small. My daughter wasn't quite a year old yet, and my son was about, well, they're 22 months apart, so whatever that math is. My husband ended up getting chaptered out of the Army. And basically what that means is, you know, his service time is done, and he had to look for something else. Unfortunately, when he joined the Army, he was 17, and then the type of job that he had never allowed him to further his education in any way. It was always work, deploy. So when he got out, he really didn't have a whole lot of marketable skills. So to go from earning a guaranteed paycheck with health benefits, half of our income was slashed. And up until that point, I was a stay-at-home mom raising those two babies, and Scentsy was something fun, but it was just a little extra cash. You know, it put gas in the car. It paid for date night once in a while. You know, if I had to pay off the Star card, which is a military credit card, you know, for something David had to buy, then that's what it paid for. And then we find out he's getting out, and we were losing half of our income. And I was faced with this, you know, idea. And I was a director at the time, but I was a fairly new director. I was only making, you know, about $1,000 a month, insert income disclosure. But I was kind of, you know, not enough to live on, but it was, you know, substantial that it helped. It, you know, subsidized what my husband made. But when he lost half his income, there was no way that we were going to be able to, you know, make up what he was losing, plus not getting health benefits. So I was faced at that pivotal kind of point. Do I put Scentsy on the back burner? And I'm sure that there's been times that those of you who are on the call as consultants have maybe been faced with that. Do I go back to work? You know, when people's circumstances change, do I go back to work, or do I try to make the Scentsy thing work? And I really didn't have a whole lot of marketable skills either. Everything that I have, I learned through doing this business. And most of my experience was through the service industry. I was a server, like a waitress. I worked in a kitchen. I worked in retail. So I guess I had good customer service skills, but really I had no degrees. You know, I had two children I had to think of. And, you know, it really came down to math. To put two children in daycare to make $9 or $10 an hour and not be with them just did not seem to make sense to me. When I could stay home and just, you know, maybe put a little more effort into Scentsy to bring it up, bring my income up, like as Carol mentioned, because it's no ceiling. I just knew that if I wanted to make more money and be able to kind of fill that gap where David was losing money, I just had to, you know, really pump it up. So ultimately, I decided that, you know, it did not make sense for me to try to go find a job. So I was going to stay home and I was going to make Scentsy work. Well, my husband went into after he got out, he got into a sports apparel job working at the mall. So you can imagine you have two basically, you know, minimum wage jobs really. And we were just trying to keep our mortgage, 2 car payments, kids fed. We didn't qualify for anything, unfortunately. So we really had to, you know, scrape the bottom of the barrel. At one point, my husband decided that he was going to change jobs in an effort to bring in more money. And there was 1 month because of the transition, like he'd gotten his last paycheck. This was actually after our first incentive trip we earned. We came back from Greece and he decided he was going to transition into a new job selling cars. That was nuts. I would never recommend selling cars, but he went into selling cars, which was pretty much commission based as well. Well, there was like a really long lead time between when he got his last paycheck from his job at the mall to when he started got his first paycheck from the car dealership. And I'm telling you, there was 1 month, I want to say it was the month of June, because we went to Greece in May. So the following month, he didn't bring in any income. The only money we had to live on was what I had brought in from Scentsy, and it did not pay all the bills. But, you know, I'm thankful we had that. So this just goes to show there will be times where you're going to wonder, is it worth it? Is the effort I'm putting in, you know, going to be, you know, worth it in the end? And I can tell you, I had a choice to give up and go to work, or I had a choice to make it work. And that's what I did. And Scentsy has saved us over and over and over every time. Like, even when I wasn't making the money I make now, like if I sold a 6-pack of wax, that was $25 I could put in the car for David to get back and forth to work, or it paid for lunches, or if the kids needed diapers or something. It was almost like Amber mentions, a God thing, you know, like it just always at the right moment, you know, between Scentsy and God, it just comes in and, you know, and it all works out. So just, if you have a dream and you're passionate about it, and you know, you believe enough, you can do anything. And I mean, there were lots of times that I could have said, this is hard, it's just easier to go to work, that's just what I'm going to do. But I didn't. And I'm glad I didn't, because I wouldn't know the people that I know now. I met Teresa after all of this. So had I quit, I wouldn't know her. I wouldn't have the relationship I have with these ladies. And obviously the new friends that I have here, I wouldn't have the organization that I have. I wasn't a superstar director then. And like I said, all I can think of is how, if I had thought it was so hard and I couldn't do it, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be sitting here with you guys tonight. So just know that we've all kind of walked that road that you might be walking right now. And we've had to make hard decisions, but we're here because we made those tough decisions. So yeah, that's, you know, I'm grateful that Scentsy saved us.
Oh, thank you, Emily. Thanks for sharing that. And yes, I met Emily on my first incentive, and it was close to Greece. It was a place called Cyprus. And I just thought she was like this amazing celebrity. I still do. And I was just taking notes underneath the table, like, I want to be like her. So thank you for sharing that, Emily. All right, Debbie, what is a favorite memorable moment in your Scentsy career? I think you're at 11 years.
Yes, 11 years, and there's so many. I think the first one was my first incentive trip. All of my top 100 trips, but the first one, I earned a trip to the Dominican Republic, and I remember earning that trip was at the time that my son was diagnosed with a brain tumor. And after getting there, I can remember something I did wrong with the reservation. So we were supposed to have been flying out that Saturday. We ended up flying out that Sunday, and I panicked because we were almost at the verge of not having a place to stay because I didn't set everything up correctly. And I can recall events setting it up correctly for me. And but I had a chance to bond with Heidi and Orville because they went to church that Sunday and they kind of hung out with us for about maybe a couple of hours. They got to know us, and my friend and I, because I took my friend. And I remember them hugging me because I told them about what I had gone through with my son. They hugged me. They asked me what my name was. They remembered it. They remembered my name at that point. Like, how do you remember a person's name when you meet all these people? And I remember not my first convention, but my third convention in Las Vegas. I remember Scentsy calling me, asking me if I can come there a day early because they wanted me to take part in a special project. I didn't know what it was. Once I got there, I found out I was a Shining Star nominee. That was so cool because I didn't know anybody. I knew nobody. I don't even know who voted me to be a nominee. And I'm on the stage, bright lights and everything, like, whoa, I cannot believe this. I'm standing on stage with all these other celebrities. I earned annual sales and annual mentor for the first time. And then that was my top trip that I earned. I earned a spa treatment, and I earned the executive suite. So I turned it down and I took the money instead, but it was just such a great memory for me. And then the next one was my trip to Greece, top 100. And that's when I got a chance to meet Emily and Kelly on that trip. And the next top 100 trip that I earned was Africa. And that was a global trip. And that's when I met Teresa. So that was pretty amazing. And the next top 100 trip was Switzerland. Then we got top 150, which COVID kind of kicked in on that one. And then this year, I earned a trip to Disney for 6. Even though I'm not going to Disney, I took the cash out, income disclosure. Since I'm not going to Disney, and I hate that I'm not going, but things happen and circumstances took place, but I'm getting $11,000 cash. And I'm able to buy my dream car with this $11,000 payout that I've gotten from Scentsy. So, I forgot to mention this. Scentsy called me one time several years ago and asked me if I would fly to Idaho. And I mean, they said they wanted to talk to me about my Scentsy journey. They flew me to Idaho. I didn't know what they were going to do with me once I got there, but they flew me out there and afterwards found out I was going to be in the Discover Scentsy video. This video is on YouTube. It's a company video. I'm a part of that video. And then one other thing, I think Kelly was not there. And this was the annual mentor. They flew us out there so that we can give feedback on how to get people to join Scentsy. I was a part of that. So there's so many memories. I love Scentsy.
Oh, thank you for sharing that and giving us a glimpse into your journey. And the thing is, Debbie's right. I mean, there's just countless, and it's really hard to just choose one. And we've got just a few more minutes left, and I want to kind of round it off with one of my, I guess it was one of my favorite and worst moments of my life. My husband was active duty Air Force. I was at the top of my career in the airline security industry. And even though I worked from home, I didn't have time freedom. Like, I couldn't let my dog bark. I was like a prisoner in my home because my boss didn't want me leaving. And it was hard until one day I received a phone call after 16 years that I was being laid off, that my position was being dissolved. And I still had Scentsy on the side as a hobby. And at the time, I had just earned top 100 to South Africa. And so it was the worst experience of my life, losing this career that I liked for 16 years. I loved my coworkers. My husband, the same month, was retiring medically from the Air Force. We found ourselves homeless because we were living in base housing. And if you're not active duty military, you can no longer, reside on base. So we went from making 6 figures collectively together to to making nothing. And so anyway, I had to make a decision. And because I do live in a small town, it was hard for me to, hold on one second, I'm trying to, it was hard for me to find another job because we do live in a small town. So I had a decision, just kind of like what Emily said, do I go back to corporate America because I'm, just doing Scentsy for fun? And I decided, by watching other people that I was like, you know what? I can actually make a career out of this. I really enjoy what I'm doing. And I went to South Africa, even though we didn't have a dime in our pocket. We didn't need a dime. Scentsy paid for everything, income disclosure. And not only did they pay for everything, like right before we left, we had money deposited in our account. And I was like, what is this? But it was extra money, spending money. And so, to go to South Africa, I was like, this is things that people only dream of. And to start off my life where I was, a teen mom, working as a maid, working at Kentucky Fried Chicken, working 3 jobs, at 7-Eleven, to now building as an entrepreneur, I was like, wow. And over the years, I really put forth effort. Like, you get out of this business what you put into it. If you, like my parents said, half-ass it, then you're going to get a half-ass paycheck, right? Sorry, excuse the language, but that's what my parents said. But if you give it your all, then that's where you're going to see more opportunity. And that's what I decided to do. And I want to tell you that it was just a proud moment as I started moving up and my paycheck started changing. I was like, and not only I cried when I got laid off of my other job. If it were up to me, I would have stayed there at that job, even though it was miserable. But God knew that there was something greater and bigger in store. And as I'm talking to you right now, this is an amazing experience for me and my family. I'm going to see if I can turn this around. But we literally just had our pool put in. And I'm not sharing that to brag. I'm sharing that to let you all know that to be able to offer that to my kids and to know where I came from making minimum wage, like $5 an hour at Kentucky Fried Chicken. I do not have a college degree, you know, and I just had that one career, you know, for 16 years. And, you know, to be able to have a U-turn in life, I feel like God was like, you know what, if you just trust me, don't worry about that degree. You know, if you want one, go get one. You don't have to have one. And I feel like Scentsy's given me that degree. I feel like I'm walking around with a bachelor's. I feel like, you know, I'm being rewarded for my hard work. And so because of that, I was just sharing with some of my team members today, I know the potential and the possibilities and the blessings that I've been blessed with, and my family's been blessed with. And I know for many of us leaders that it brings us nothing but pure joy to be able to pass that on to other people, to be able to mentor, coach, and guide others that want, you know, this, whether they want the hobby, whether they want the community, you know, the stories like Kelly was sharing, or whether they want, you know, to make a solid sound difference in their life. This business can be anything that you want it to be. And we're all living proof. So you just heard from about 6 of us, and all 6 of us come from different walks of life. And there's about over 300,000 of us now with Scentsy, and all of us have different stories. All of us have different goals and different whys. You have to determine what your why is and what your goal is. And I hope something that we've shared tonight, you can relate one of us. And if you're a new consultant, you know, one thing that we want to encourage you is that you don't have to wait, you know, or be afraid to sponsor. You can do that right now. One of the regrets that I have is I waited 1.5 years before I started, you know, offering the joint opportunity. And I would have preferred to have company, you know, I would have preferred to walk this with my BFF or somebody and learn together, fall together, you know, pick ourselves up together. So, you know, don't hesitate to begin your path now. You know, I feel like I delayed mine 1.5 years, but you know what? It's all good because I'm glad that I arrived and that I'm where I'm at today. So anyway, I want to kind of pass this on to Kelly so you can kind of close us out tonight. I hope that you've all enjoyed the stories, and I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Kelly.
Well, wasn't that kind of fun to journey through some of the panelists' lives, hear a little bit about where we come from, the differences in all of us. That's what makes us totally unique. If you have ever, I'm not sure if you guys have ever done like an Enneagram test or a strength finder or something like that. There's something that I love to do because I like finding out my strengths, and they actually change over time through your growth and your experiences. But the Enneagram test, I've been teaching this in leadership classes and in different things that I've been doing with my own team. And the reason why I do it is because, you know what, I might have a strength here and you might have a strength there, and Carol has a strength here and Teresa has a strength there, and Amber has this strength. And you guys heard that through tonight's call, how different we all are. We all have different strengths. We have different weaknesses. That is the joy of this business. You do not have to be a salesperson. You do not have to be a recruiting superstar. And these are all things that honestly can be taught over time. When we all came into the business, the one common thing that you guys heard tonight is we did not intend to really make this a business. You heard that we did not have any special skills, or we didn't drink some special sauce or some shake that made us amazing. The one thing that you heard tonight was that we all overcame obstacles, and there was so many hurdles in every single one of our stories that we overcame because we kept going and we didn't quit. And there's a quote sometimes somewhere that I always hear: the only time you fail is when you quit. I don't care if you take some time off from Scentsy. I don't care if you don't sponsor anybody for a year. The one thing that I do share sometimes with my team is that it took me 9 months to sponsor somebody. I had somebody join like 2 weeks ago and she was like, hey, how do I quit? And I'm like, you know what? My response was, I don't know, because I don't know how to quit. And you know what? That might seem really blunt to some people, but when you've been in this business for 2 weeks, I'm not going to show you how to quit. That's the one thing I will never show anybody on my team. I don't care how long they've been around. I will not show you how to quit. I will not show you how to forfeit. I will not show you how to send your stuff back. You figure that out, because you know what? When it comes down to it and they say, why didn't it work with Scentsy? Oh, because Kelly taught me how to quit. Hell no, I didn't teach you how to quit. I'm not going to teach you that, but I will teach you how to build a successful business with the pieces that I've learned over the period of time, which every single panelist on this call
Did
tonight.
she freeze?
Together every Tuesday night. So if you are joining us and you're a guest tonight for joining us, I hope on the other, you have
Yes, I think you froze on us, Kelly.
support system. It ain't my
Okay, I think Kelly froze on us. So, okay, I wanted to see, I think we have one hand that's raised. Jennifer Cleveland, would you like to unmute yourself? I don't know if you did that intentionally or not.
fault. I blame Debbie's Wi-Fi.
Okay, it's all right. Are you back with us, Kelly?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I was on a whole roll. I can't repeat that. Where did you hear last?
I don't know because
About you have so much time. I think you were saying left or something. You completely froze that you have this little bit of time left, maybe, or I don't know.
Last thing I heard is that you don't teach people how to quit, and then it started cutting out really bad.
Yeah, there's a person who started 2 weeks ago. They asked me how to quit, how to send their stuff back. And I basically said, I'm not going to show you how to quit. Neither is any other panelist here. We don't have any special skills, any special sauce, anything like that, but we are all here to help you. I hope that we see you guys on the other side, that we are able to help you grow, help you mentor, as well as your sponsor who would have brought you here tonight. And in closing, I hope you guys have a great week and we'll see you next Tuesday.
and have those join conversations. You guys, $20 to join while kids last. So whether you brought someone on tonight, go out there, hang up. The stories that we shared, you can share this recording, but do not end this month. I don't care if you already have 2 team members, go out there and offer this opportunity. Look and see how it's blessed your life, how it's blessed others' lives, and realize that it's not a burden to ask someone. This is absolutely a blessing. We are real lives, real people with real stories and real successes. So go out there and don't be intimidated. Share this opportunity because we need help. Scentsy announced that there's a huge announcement happening at the end of this month. And whatever that announcement is, I have a feeling we're going to need help. So, all right, you guys have a great evening.
Hey, I want to tell people, that you can spend $20 at Chick-fil-A and you have poop tomorrow. But if you spend $20, you'll have a business tomorrow. So you can use my line and it will work. Okay, so tell them, don't have poop tomorrow, have a business. Okay, spend the $20 and have something that's going to pay you back in the long run instead of having, the other thing. So have a good night, everybody.
Bye.